So millions of people all over the world are officially in panic mode because of one thing that Israel could do to Iran. However, people in the United States are not even discussing this. Nobody's talking about this, which in my mind is absolutely mind-boggling. This is a massive, massive issue that is going to cause millions of people here in the U.S. to panic as well. Today, I'm going to break down what is going on. It has to do with oil, which means gas prices, which means your heating. Yeah, this is going to impact millions of people very soon if this happens. So again, I'm going to break this down in just a moment. But all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So here's what we know. Israel and Iran are going back and forth at each other. Israel took the life of a Hezbollah leader. Iran retaliated by sending 180 ballistic missiles into Israel. Well, what's Israel's response? That's the big question. Well, look at this. It says, Biden says U.S. discussing possible Israeli strikes on Iran oil facilities. Do you know how much oil Iran produces? Iran produces about 3 to 4 million barrels of oil per day. That's roughly 3% of the world's total output. Okay? So Iran is producing about 3%. That's pretty good. But it's what is happening near Iran that is truly concerning. Look at this. It says, satellite imagery shows Iranian oil tankers at country's major terminal disappearing amid fears of an Israeli counterattack. Now, this terminal, again, it's big. Okay, I want to read this to you. Look at this. It says the National Iranian Tanker Company appears to be fearing an imminent attack by Israel. It says 15 miles off Iran's northwestern coast, the Karg Island terminal handles more than 90% of the country's crude exports. It says oil prices jumped 5% on Thursday and are heading for their best week in over a year, following President Joe Biden's comments. Now, I want to show you this, okay? This is what oil prices have done. This is, let me show you a month, okay? This is a month if it pops up, or I can show you a week, okay? Now, this is a week, all right? This over here is on September 30th, right here. It was at $71.77, okay? Now, or as of yesterday, as of Friday, it was at $78.05, okay? So, big difference. A $7 jump, or roughly a $7 increase. Now, that's just over 1 week. And it's over 1 week because of the fears that are happening over in the Middle East. Okay, look at this. It says oil prices log biggest weekly rise in almost 2 years as Middle Eastern tensions mount. This is the problem that we're facing right now. Okay, we have a potential attack on Iranian oil. Again, that's only 3%. Okay, it's only 3% of the world's output, so nothing to really be concerned with. But here's where we need to be concerned. Look at this. It says Iran closure of Hormuz Strait would be even worse for tanker shipping than a Red Sea crisis. What does that mean? Well, here's what you need to know. This right here is the Red Sea. Right here. Okay? Now, up here is the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? Here it is. Now, here's the reason why this is such a big deal. You can see it right here. Okay? This is Iran up here. Then you got Dubai down here. So here's what we're worried about. This. If Iran were to close this, that would be extremely concerning. The reason why. Oil tankers carry approximately 17 million barrels of oil per day through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? Right here. 17 million barrels. That's just shy of 30% of the world's total consumption. 30% is right there. So if Iran were to cut off any ships from passing, and they could do that, if they were to stop ships from passing, that would cut off 30% of the world's total consumption to the rest of the world. That means all the oil would stay right here, okay? Right here in the Persian Gulf. That is why it's a concern, okay? This would be even bigger than what happened when Yemen, they were targeting right here, okay? In this strait. Because and I think this is only like 90 miles. Not 90 miles, 20 miles, I believe. This is only like 20 miles. This right here, from Yemen to like the edge of Djibouti, like that's all it is. Okay, that little spot is about 20 miles away. So that was a huge issue. You may remember that from just 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whenever it was. Yeah, and that caused oil prices to go up, because now in order to get through that area, we had to send U.S. ships over to that region. And then in some cases, U.S. ships had to escort other ships through the Red Sea. Because the other thing, if they don't go there, okay, and again, we've talked about this before, okay, if ships couldn't go here, then their other option was to come up here, right? And we've seen this before, okay, through the Gulf of Suez, Gulf of Qaba, or whatever that is. So here's the Suez Canal, right up here, right? You see this, you can come all the way up here, right? They can do that. They can come up here, right? And they come into the Mediterranean Sea and work their way over. Now, that caused prices to go up on goods, on gas, on oil, fuel, right? Everything just went through the roof. And so this is what I think is interesting. Millions of people over in the Middle East, they're discussing this. They're talking about this. That what if there's an attack on Iranian oil facilities? It's going to hurt about 3% of the world's output, right? That's concerning. But what if Iran says, you know what, you want to do that? Fine. We're going to cut off all shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. What happens then? Not just the goods that are being produced over in the area, okay? The food, the whatever, crops, whatever we need. But now oil? This is going to cause oil prices to go through the roof. And here's what's been happening recently. Today, oil prices are at $3.17. Not too bad. Because just yesterday, they're at $3.18. A week ago, $3.22. A month ago, $3.30. And a year ago, $3.76. So they're down to the lowest they've been in quite some time. But they could easily go back up. Now, here's the concern. Right now, we are seeing a lot of tensions over in the Middle East. But because of what is happening in Iran, this is causing oil prices to potentially surge. Some experts believe that if the Strait of Hormuz actually gets shut down, we could see oil prices top $100 a barrel. That is likely going to send oil prices back up to the $4 range. Okay? So we're going to see what happens moving forward. The one thing I can tell you right now is there's a lot of speculation because nobody has the answers. We're waiting for the U.S., Israel, and Iran to figure things out themselves. So we'll see what happens. The one thing I can promise you is I will be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.